Welcome to the Art of Hitting channel. Today we have another look behind the scenes at the dugout. Another little short tidbit from Mike Dill. Big Mike talking about the old days with the baby boomers, some of the great players of the baby boomers, sharing his opinion, and he says he's a student of the game and wants the guys from the old days to be remembered. Big Mike Dill.
I don't know. I got to get it up in the air. Yeah. But I had to get my picture here. If I'm going down, I'm going down with my guy throwing to me.
Is he coming?
Yeah, he's here. Okay. He's the guy who just threw the bombs to Pavinsky.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
that guy. Do you know that guy?
Pavinsky? Yeah, he's from Pennsylvania. Fantastic player.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's really good, huh?
Yeah. Played for Gasoline Heaven. I played with him in Gasoline Heaven back in the day. He's a good player. Great player.
The only guy, he don't play with you,
No, he's not old enough. He's 50.
Oh,
but,
so he's on your list. He's on your recruiting list.
Oh, yeah, he lives in our area, too. Heck yeah. If he was 55, he'd be here with us.
Oh, yes.
Come on, Michael.
It was just fun to read about that. Or you go to the big tournament, you pick up a paper or a magazine. You know, what Gordy did with starting the Old Scout.
Gordy
Hagel.
I remember.
Yeah, that's where you learn from it. And just sitting around, you know, the biggest thing, just sitting around with the older guys after a tournament, just talking softball. Yeah. You can always learn something.
The best softball players of those days, I mean, we all know, well, Masenko and Bruce are considered not only by people I know, but actually by the internet, that they're number one and two guys of that era. That may be hard really to do, but they certainly there weren't two guys like those guys.
And I'm really fortunate. Mike works with us.
Yes.
He's part of our Rawlings family. He does promotions and all kinds of things. And he's just a wealth of knowledge to talk to him. He remembers everything. And he's such a great guy.
Well, he does have.
He remembers everything. And so, like, when he does the big home run derbies, like Senior Smoky, things like that, he and I work together doing those. I help him with them. And so he's just a great ambassador for the game. Yeah. But I really didn't start seeing. I remember 1989 when he was with Steels. They came to Delaware where I lived, and they played an exhibition game. And I remember I was just starting to play, and I went and watched it, and I was just like, wow, this was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. Yeah. And heard, older guys talk about your Steels and stuff like that. And it's,
you didn't know the Steels guys.
I didn't, but I'll tell you what I did have. I had a poster of the Steels team and the gangster suits they had on my dorm wall. Yeah, I got it at a liquor store there in Newark, Delaware. But they were dressed up like gangsters. And I told Masenko that we were doing something one time, and he got the biggest kick out of that.
That's cool. I don't think I saw that myself. These guys used to go around in Steels. I mean, as a young man looking at it was like a dream theme, right? They got all the best guys in the country. Well, not all the best, but a lot of the great players that all could hit home runs. And they'd go around barnstorming like the old days, I guess they did that. And they come here, and like I had an A team that was pretty good. I mean, we can't, but I scheduled a double header with those guys. My team was angry at me, some of them, because we don't be cannon fodder for those guys. And they came down, they stacked up, 12 dozen balls outside, behind the screen, and they proceeded to hit everyone. They beat us like 55 to 25. I mean, but that's what they did, man. And that was, it just seemed, it was a dream, a dream way to play ball, right?
Somebody who was part of that, and he was part of our Rawlings family, was Denny Helmig. He was one of the founders of the Steels thing, he and Dave Neal. And Denny, after the Steels went, he worked for Worth for a long time for Rawlings, and he passed away a couple years ago. And he was a good man, and he was another one, the best stories, because he was there, he was playing for Steels, the best stories ever. A lot of them I can't say here, but there were
Yeah, no, I guess. Yeah, but let me mention some names to you. See if you mention Mighty John Young. Remember that? You ever heard stories about that guy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
And
right.
it was just before my time. I never saw it, but Masenko talks about him a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stories on him. And the other guys that fly. Mike Nye. You heard about the great Mike?
Mike Nye. I will never forget. Do you remember? And he didn't really play, but Jim Fuller.
Oh, Jim. Yeah, played against Jim.
Yeah,
Fuller,
so
man.
Jim Fuller played for Superior, and I was telling the guys the one time, I was telling Masenko, I said, I'm a lifelong Baltimore Orioles fan. I have a program at home, a Jim Fuller autographed it in 1974. I went with my grandfather. They autographed the front of it, and Jim Fuller when he played second base for the Orioles.
He second base.
He was a second baseman.
The 6'8" guy I knew.
No, he wasn't that tall. Jim Fuller, but he played for the Orioles. He wasn't that tall, but he
We
was tall.
talk about the same.
Jim Fuller, yep.
He was
He was, but he
big.
was huge.
Playing up in Daytona. He's the pitcher.
Yeah, he was an infielder.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And he played when he played. The guy I'm thinking about played third base.
He played infield. Yeah, he was a utility infielder for the Orioles.
Man, the same guy don't really matter, but that guy hit one out. We were playing in Daytona. He hit one out 300 and some 25-foot fence, but he hit it out. There was like a double road. He hit it over the double road. And this is back in there were no senior bats involved here.
No, you're talking about aluminum.
Yeah, like what you were hitting today. The dumbed down bats actually. Who else?
I'm trying to think. Who else did we talk about? Obviously, Bruce Meade, legendary guy. But the Steele's kind of flamed out right before. But you talk about guys from that area. A guy who played for Steele's and made the most impact on me as a young player. Dirk Androff came and spoke in Delaware at a hitting clinic that a guy at an indoor hitting cage. He came and did that, and we all went out and hung out with him.
He died on exercise.
Yeah, like 1997.
Exercise.
He was on elliptical. Yeah,
elliptical.
He was on elliptical. But I remember the thing he talked about batting practice that day. I was a young guy. It still lasted me every day. He always started his batting practice off hitting everything backside. Working on that.
Well, you put that on one of our videos, and I started doing that, and I found that I thought it was very good.
Very good. You just don't open up. You stay on the ball and just
make you watch it.
Yeah, it does. And here it is, 30 some years later at least, and still doing the same thing.
You got a good pitcher.
Yeah. True. Well,
the reason I said that, I'm going to tell you why. That's an inside joke of me and Dan. We just came from batting practice, and Dan was pitching.
I never had one.
I hope you enjoyed that short clip with Mike talking about the baby boomer generation. It's just a short insight into the lengthy interview we had with him. It was about an hour, and he had a lot of interesting things and talking about history, players, just all things softball you can catch on Spotify. Don't miss Spotify in November with Mike Dill, the Mike in rep and one of the best players in the Gen X generation. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Shout out to my man, you Brotherton.